Well, you can't resist following me around. He's a beautiful boy. It's a lovely day today, but I want to keep him well away from what's going on inside the house. Don't want anything falling on them. It's Monday morning. It's Monday afternoon. The guys are out for lunch. They were here punctual this morning at 8 o'clock, just before, and got straight on with it. So as you know, watching the last video, they started taking quite a lot of the roof down, which was exhilarating and scary at the same time. All of the metal up there will be coming down. That was all put up by the previous owner. So I haven't done anything to this house other than paint the outside. It's going to be very interesting to see during the course of this week how far we get with it, or how far they get with it. I'll be coming back and forth to just check and give you an update, a progress report. I want to show you this though. That doorway there, this wall is the original exterior of the house at some point. I'm slightly curious by it because the wall directly in front of you is the one that runs from the very front and goes all the way on the outside. You've seen that a number of times, and that's a stone wall. So that was built a long time ago, but I'm not quite sure what the purpose of it was. This roof is more recent than the bit that's being knocked down, and I'm not sure if they're going to take this down or not. We're going to have a look at it, I guess, after they got the bulk of this down and just see what needs to be done. In the meantime, I don't want to be twiddling my fingers and I want to get on with stuff. And well, the cistern is calling me at the moment. I had to leave that alone at the end of last week. I don't know how far I'm going to get with it. I'd like to get quite a lot of it done, but there are drying times. So if I do the rendering on the inside, I've got to wait for that to dry before I put the next layer on, the meshing, and that's going to need another couple of layers, and that's going to stop the water from seeping through. But I can backfill. I guess I should just get on with it. As much as I'm really interested, just follow what they're doing, I need to be getting on with something. Well, we all know what happened last week, even with the metal roofing over the top. That sheet, really hope it made a difference. Let's find out. Whoa, bone dry. A number of people were commenting on the diameter of that plastic pipe there. It's absolutely fine. It's 6 centimeters, just over 2¼ inches. And after speaking to an expert, which is what I was holding back on this for, just to get their advice, he reckons that that's absolutely fine given the surface area of water that's going to be coming off of that roof. And I can, if I want to feel more comfortable, add a slightly thicker pipe leading down to it, and it will be a little bit underground. And I'll probably put a little U-bend on it so it's going down and not directly in that direction. Just hiding over there is the other one, and that is about 1 inch lower than there, and that'll be for the overflow. And I probably will connect that to the IBC tank a bit further down there so we're not wasting the water, and it can come in handy for something else. The other thing, I got quite a lot of people saying, why have I not dug a hole down the bottom, or why am I not thinking about how I'm going to get water out of there? So I thought I'd just quickly explain this to you, but I've got to go down there. Holding tank is there, and where I'm standing here is lower than the bottom of that holding tank, which means cistern, which means I can rely on gravity. Now my plan was to gravity feed it down here, but I wasn't entirely sure how to get water out of it in the first place. But after speaking to a guy this morning who's built many cisterns, knows what he's talking about, I think that we're on the same page, and I'm confident now it's going to work. But I'm not going to describe it to you right now. It's easy just to do it and it'll make sense. I also asked him a few other questions about as quite a few people mentioned this, on the strength of the blocks that I put in there. And yes, I do know they're courses and not rows, but I use layman's terms. I'm busy doing lots of different things. I often forget the names of things, and you know, it doesn't matter. And what he said was I should really at least have put a halfway up, I should have put some rebar and then continued. But it's not all lost, because on the top I can still put a ring beam round there, because I can do that before I put on the block and beam. That will give it a bit of strength. The other one as well is I was going to pour concrete down the back of there with a little bit of that metal that I used on the floor, and I was actually going to take stones from around here, and I mentioned that before I knew the roof was coming down, so of course I could use some of the rubble from there, but he said don't do that, just get stone dust, mix it with cement, 8:1 cement, dry mix, drop it down to about 1 meter high, sprinkle with water, repeat till I get to the top. So with combination of that metal going around there as well, I'm hoping that that will give it plenty of strength and we won't have any problems. I guess I was thinking if it was down below the ground, what force is going to be pushing it in on itself if the water's pushing it out and you've got concrete everywhere. But you know what? Like I said, you live and learn. Tuesday, overcast, possible rain a bit later on, and I need that sheet. Stone dust, 3 cubic meters, Pau de Pedra. Cement, dry mix down that hole. The Pau de Pedra is most commonly used, I guess, on pavements you'll see them. They put it down as a base, and then with calçada being the cobbles, they then just hammer them down into it and then mix some other stuff into the gaps and so on, and then you got yourself a nice pavement. And on my third house, I had 200 square meters of driveway and the front and side of the house. Unfortunately, no one wanted to do it because it was on tiers, so I ended up doing it myself. I guess it was a learning curve, great experience, but it took me weeks and weeks and weeks in the middle of summertime. My neighbors thought I was nuts. And it was back-breaking, and I might be doing it here at the back of the house. We'll see, but not right now. This is for down there. I'll show you this very quickly. That was the crack that went all the way along to the front door. Good to see us going. Got through half of the stone dust, but we're not halfway up. 2 hours in, nearly 3 o'clock. I've only got, what, I don't know what time it gets dark now. Is it 5:15 or 4? dogs are waiting patiently for me now because it's getting a bit late now. I would like to have walked them before this. It's gone 5 o'clock, about 20 minutes or so before it gets dark. And I have to say, I think I'm dealing with a bottomless pit here. This is absolutely ridiculous. I've been at this now for hours. I've used up 2 1/3 of that 3 cubic meters of stone dust. I'm going to need at least another 2 cubic meters. It just seems to be swallowed up somewhere, but every time I go down to get more rocks and come back, it seems to be the same height. I've done at least 20 trips with the wheelbarrow to the back of the tent. There's a mound back there, and I guess it's pretty good that I can get everything from there, start to whittle it away. And I didn't want to use the stuff off of the roof because that is going to be taken away, and it's got plaster in it, and that makes more sense to remove stuff from where I want it removed. But it's just, I got cramp in my arm, so it didn't matter when I started. I would have probably only managed another hour on top of this if I started earlier, because I just am struggling so much. It's getting the, I don't know, it's just stones, sand, whatever. It's everything's heavy. Anyway, I will get this done tomorrow, and it will look lovely.
Get to that one. Bye. 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 Met lá em cima.
Oh my God.
Vai quero estar já aí. Vê lá, parecia que estava mal, caído.
Parecia que estava fácil.
Hã? Volta para cá. Vai. Agora essa aí já vai. Já está aí. Não, agora. Hã?
Estou bem agarrado.
Tira lá essa porta, daí. Leva essa porta. Já nem vai ficar madeira pequenino. Ela vai. Já está aqui.
Já está.
Vai lá um bocado de madeira, vai lá buscar um bocado de madeira. Vai pôr aí tudo. Aí vai ela.
Tanto di inclinare la casa.
Ah, vai.
Hello? What a weird feeling. It's just really weird. I mean, obviously before, with a roof on it and the rooms being 3 by 3 meters square, they're very small. You've got the corridor that's kind of wide for the size of the house, and getting a feel for the layout was quite tricky. Now they're down, some of the walls, we've still got a little bit to go over there. It's going to make my life a lot easier, and I think now I can really rethink how I'm going to lay it out. And well, I want it to be as open as possible, but it's just really weird. Of course, on all of the previous houses I've done here, it's I've been knocking the walls down myself, and obviously with the thicker walls, they take a little bit of time to take down, and it really opens them all up. But there's something weird about someone else doing it and watching them come down. I mean, obviously these are going to come down a bit easier, but I guess when you're doing it yourself, you don't really think about, you know, how drastic that feels. You're just excited to do it. But watching these guys doing it, oh, when that rest of that wall's down, it's going to feel pretty big. I have to say, it's the first thing I'm noticing is how much bigger it feels, and I want to see if I can hold that in. Light-wise, shame I can't have everything up there because it's concrete, but we are going to have light coming all the way through, so it is going to feel a lot more airy and, of course, opened up. I don't know what I'm thinking right now. It's really weird. It's good, but weird. I love this tree, the way it just hangs over in this direction. It's unique, unfortunately. It looks like it's on its way out, losing its leaves. What a shame. Strawberry bush, the madronia. Really interesting. I didn't know how many I had, but walking up from the front to the dam, the barragem, I have 30 of them now. 30 few. So don't know how many more there's going to be further up. Don't know how I hadn't spotted that before. I guess now, because they've got the fruit and these little white flowery bits on them, they stand out. Not much of a taste, but it's definitely got a flavour. It's really nice, actually. But really, having so many of these, I should gather them and put them in a pot as a little snack.
Wow. Buon video.
Okay, bear with me on this one because it is relevant. In my past life, I had many hobbies, and one of them was building guitars and spraying them. And that one there has been countless colours. It's a spare one I had. And I figured now is a perfect opportunity to just put that one back together again. Although I have other guitars, that is going to be the inspiration for me, because 5 weeks ago I started learning Portuguese. A lovely lady, Teresa, via WhatsApp video, and I'm really enjoying it. Though it is really difficult and I'm struggling quite a lot, I'm pretty certain I'm going to be picking it up. And I've got a target which is kind of realistic. End of next year, I want to be able to understand, hopefully quite a lot, and be able to have somewhat coherent conversations. And by the end of the following year, I'd like to be fluent, or as fluent as possible. And I'm leaving it that amount of time so that I don't ruin it for myself and give up. And with the guitar, well, one of the things that she said was, as we all know, learning something is a lot easier when you put it into a song form. So I figured I can learn that again, get better at it, and I can listen to Portuguese songs. I can read the lyrics on the video, and I can just play along to it, and hopefully it will sink in, because up to now it's just been bouncing off. I did have lessons in the past, but they were in a group, and I really struggled with that. I also had a course set up, and unfortunately, as we all know, COVID, it was all cancelled. Yeah, see how far we get. I'll let you know as we go along. And you never know, if I get to my goal, I will maybe play you a few tunes, but I definitely won't be singing. Wow, it's a hell of a lot of rubble from that roof and the walls. 3 down, 1 more to go, 1 more small one to go, and then we can clear away all this stuff, and hopefully on Saturday this will be gone. It's quite surprising just how much space that is taking up. Pretty incredible. Really, Will? They sound comical. Right, I've just this second had another dump of Podopedra, the stone dust, and that looks just about the same quantity as we had the other day. There's so much of it now. I already this morning got rid of the remainder from the other day, and I can safely say I'm aching. But I really hope that I can get that through that, mixed with that, down there, and sort it out today all the way to the top. I'm not going to bore you with videoing it. I think I've done enough of that. And after I've done it, we'll go and have a look inside and see how the guys are getting on. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, every last scoop of that stone dust has been used. Look at it all gone there, all tidied up a little bit. I have left a little bit of a drop, but that's okay, because I'm either going to backfill it with soil, or I'll use the stones that were around the back there, the ones I was using on the driveway. I'll worry about that another day, because the most important thing right now is to get this inside rendered, and I need to rest for tomorrow probably, because I am seriously aching at the moment. I've been at it all day, and if you've ever moved anything around, stones, cement, whatever, all day in a wheelbarrow, yeah, it can take it out of you. Priority next is to get that inside rendered. I mean, I do want to try and beat the rain, obviously. If I don't, then I'll have to put the lid on it, and that's what I want to try and avoid doing as much as possible, because it takes time to put all that over there, and it's tedious. Once I've done that rendering on the inside with the concrete, the cement, sorry, then I'll put the meshing around there when it's dried, and the Weber product, which I'll show you next week. And I hope it doesn't take too many coats. One, it's really expensive, and it's about €75, and it covers about 5 square meters, but I will probably need 3 coats on there. And I don't know how much a square meter it is, but €75 a bag. That's the last of the expensive stuff to do with here anyway, because I've got everything else. Right, I need to rest. Good morning. Saturday morning. What a beautiful start. Just gone 8 o'clock. The guys turned up just before 8 o'clock, minus a digger. I think I can hear something in the background, so I'm really hoping it's turned up. I want all that rubble removed today, and with a bit of luck this morning. But in the meantime, oh man, this is just a beautiful start to the day. I'm going to enjoy this walk. Right, it's my turn. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I think I'll leave it to the pros. I think this is going to take another few hours because it's one truck and he has to keep going off to dump it all. In the meantime, welcome into my home. 8 days work so far, and what a massive transformation in that time. And if they can continue at this pace, wow, we'll be motoring forward. Jean, he is the guy who's been doing most of the hard stuff in here, taking the roof down, and as you can see, going into the walls. He's 69 years old, and he would put most people to shame, let alone someone half his age. And this really is a kind of family affair going on here. We've got Jean, 69, we've got his son-in-law, and he's been helping out around the top there and doing the rebar work. We've got his son now, who's putting everything into the truck, and his daughter, who's been communicating with me, and she speaks fantastic English. And as you know, I am starting to learn now, but holding a conversation at this point, it's lovely to have that, and it's definitely made me feel a lot more relaxed. So as I just said, we've got now spaces going into the wall there, and that's going to be for the columns. We've got a couple of trenches dug now, about half a metre down. I'm really hoping that next week we can get the rebar in there, boarded up, and maybe even a bit of concrete. But you know what? I'm going to let them go at their pace because they're doing really well. The other thing now is I need to choose 2 points, and it's got to align between there and there for another 2 columns going up. And I've decided I'm going to bring it across this way because that door is going to be completely blocked now, and that gives more space on this side. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the coming weeks. I hope you can join me on that. And next week, I'm really hoping I can get a little bit further with the cistern on the inside and get that rendered. In the meantime, wow, what a difference. Okay, until next week, take care, look after yourselves, and as always, stay positive. Bye for now.